boy wets his hair every day before school so that his mother would think he was training hard at the swimming pool. But the boy didn't come to learn to swim at all. Instead, he took the instructor to an internet cafe to play games. In fact, he learned to swim because his mother borrowed money for him to learn. The purpose was for her son to be successful in the future. He didn't realize that his push had backfired. Until one day, the boy looked at the new headphones bought by the champion swimmer. His face showed envy. He wanted to buy one too. As he watched the other guy showing off, he approached the coach and told him he wanted to be a champion swimmer too. But the coach thought he was delusional. He told him to stop dreaming. As a result, the boy was determined to prove himself. At night, the boy went to the pool for a swim session. The coach was amazed at the sight of the boy swimming underwater. From that moment on, he decided to try to take him under his wing. In the evening, the coach called Roy after work. Then he took Roy to the swimming pool where the competition was held. The coach was very strict with him and made him swim underwater until dawn. In fact, Roy was already exhausted, but the coach didn't let him go. He made him go back to the water and keep swimming. But afterwards, the coach took Roy out for a nice meal. The coach explained that in order to become a champion swimmer, you have to suffer twice as much as the others. That's how you get better. Roy didn't say anything. He went home sulking. When he got home, his brother saw his brother's injuries and told his mother about them. At night, her mother snuck into her son's room in the dead of night. She saw the wound on her son's back, but the mother chose to turn a blind eye because she thought that education under the stick would surely make her son a champion swimmer. Unexpectedly, the coach was even harsher on Roy in the days that followed. This boy was forced by his trainer to run as hard as he could because only by increasing his lung capacity, he could become a champion swimmer. If the boy tried to stop training, he was beaten. In the face of the coach's forcefulness, Roy didn't say a word of complaint, but as the pressure mounted, he became more and more depressed. That day, he swam in the middle of the pool on purpose. He hid in the water and didn't dare to climb up. He knew that if he did, he'd be beaten. As the days went by, soon it was time for Roy's swimming competition, and his mother came to the statue of Buddha to pray that her son would do well in the competition. As the horn blew before the competition, Roy swam as hard as he could. Even though Roy swam as hard as he could, but in the end, he was a second too late. He took second place. When they got home, the family celebrated Roy's victory with 1,000 toasts, but it was his little brother's words that shattered everything. It turns out that the beatings he took really helped him to improve. Hearing this, the father realized that his son's success in the competition was due to the beatings. The father immediately called Roy to his room. Looking at the bruises on his son's legs, the father was furious. He said he would go to the coach to settle the score, but he was stopped by his wife. The wife thought it was okay for a man to get hurt, but the husband did not think so. He wanted to go to the coach to discuss the matter. At night, when the coach was off duty, his father appeared in front of the coach's motorbike. I thought he would teach the coach a lesson, but he didn't. Instead, he took out a pile of cash from his pocket. He hoped that the coach would not be his son again. When the coach saw the money, he agreed immediately. I thought the coach's behavior would change after this, but he didn't give a damn about the money. This boy didn't even have time to change his clothes. He was running down the street as fast as he could because the swimming instructor had just come at him with a stick. The boy rushed to his father's workplace so he wouldn't get beaten up. He found his father. The moment he saw his father, Roy cried out all his grievances. He told his father that he didn't want to swim anymore. The father didn't say anything. He took him home and told him to calm down. Unexpectedly, when his mother learned that Roy had escaped from swimming training, she suddenly lost control of her emotions. Seeing his wife's emotions getting out of control, his father hurriedly pulled her downstairs. Watching his parents arguing downstairs, Roy finally shed tears of indignity. After this incident, Roy became depressed. He stopped talking to his parents, but his wife, at this point, still wouldn't let her son give up. She went to the coach and prayed that he would convince her son, but the coach had lost faith in Roy. Seeing that the coach wouldn't help her son, she focused on her youngest son. In order to help her son improve his grades, his mother hired a private tutor for him, but he was forced to study every day. The youngest son also began to get bored. Since Roy ran away from the swimming pool, his temper grew too. Every time his little brother refused to learn, he'd take his anger out on him, but even then he wasn't happy. That night, in the dead of night, Roy snuck into the same swimming pool and unleashed his anger and messed up the pool. Unbeknownst to him, the security guard on duty found him. Luckily, the guard didn't get angry. He called his mother to take him away. Unexpectedly, Roy's next words completely upset his mother. "Mom, don't you care what the coach does to me as long as I get first place?" Early the next morning, Roy went to the coach. He asked him to continue to train him. Unexpectedly, the coach did not agree to him because his father had already exposed the incident of his beatings. He could never be a coach again. When he heard this, Roy felt very guilty. He decided to prove himself by winning the first place. In the following days, Roy trained hard in the swimming pool every day. On the day of the swimming competition, he didn't let everyone down. He won the swimming championship. He proved himself in action.